Okay, guys, we're going to get started today. Welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to learn more about SUNY Plattsburgh. My name is Jessica Fish. I am one of the assistant directors here at SUNY Plattsburgh, and I'm joined by two of our currently enrolled students. And over the next hour, we're going to go through and share with you some of our experiences regarding academic and student life here at SUNY Plattsburgh. We want to make this as interactive as possible. This is your time, so we're going to give some information, but also give you plenty of time for Q&A. So if you have questions pertaining to academics or student life as we move through the presentation, please feel free to type them in and we will address them throughout. Before we get started, I do want to give our students a chance to introduce themselves so you can get to know them a little bit better. So Andrew, if you want to start.
Sure. So my name is Andrew. I'm a senior marketing major. I'm from Long Island.
Awesome.
And I'm Andrea. I am a junior early childhood special education major, and I'm from Monroe, New York.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks, guys. For most of you who are joining us today, you may have never had a chance to come up to campus, or you might know very little about SUNY Plattsburgh. So one of the first things I want to do to get started is to give you a little overview of what SUNY Plattsburgh is all about. So Plattsburgh was actually founded as a state normal and training school back in 1889. So we were a teacher's college. We had one major, which was education, one building, which is Hawkins Hall, which is in the picture that you see on your screen, and about 30 students. So we've grown a lot over the last century. We're now a comprehensive college, one of 13 comprehensive colleges within the SUNY system. We have about 5,500 enrolled students, so we're considered medium in terms of size. And we are split into 3 academic schools that encompass over 60 majors and 60 minors, which we're going to dive into a little bit in just a few slides. One thing that I think really makes Plattsburgh special, beyond the buildings, beyond our location, it's really the academic experience that you're going to have here on campus. Because we are a medium-sized school really focused on teaching undergraduates, you're going to find that your classes are small and personalized. So average class size here at SUNY Plattsburgh is 22 students, and the student-to-faculty ratio is 16:1. So what that means is you're not going to be a number within a class. Your professor is going to know your name, they're going to call on you, they're going to be able to assist you with questions you might have, meet with you outside of class, invite you to work on research opportunities, and really get involved and engaged within the course material. Since we have some students with us, I'm curious if you guys might be able to share a little bit about your class size experience, maybe what was your largest class on campus and your smallest class on campus, and how interactive is it for you?
Sure. So my largest class on campus was actually 50 students, and that was Principles of Economics class. So it was a class that every business student needs to take. And now one of my smallest classes, it's about 18 students, and that's one of the upper level marketing courses. So only marketing students take that class. So it's definitely, even in the larger class where I had 50 students, the professor still knew my name. We still had class discussions. So it was one of those things where, we still were able to have that small class feel even with, a large number of students.
I kind of had the same experience. My largest class was my intro to psych class, and that was about 50 students. But then again, the professor still knew my name. I knew my classmates. And then in my education classes, I have as low as 15 students, and that's where I've been with those same students since freshman year, so we all know each other, the professors know us, so it's a really good relationship we have in those classes.
Awesome. Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about kind of the interactions you get to have with faculty, and one of the things that I really value about Plattsburgh is the fact that only faculty teach classes here. So we do have graduate assistants and we do have teaching assistants, but as their title implies, they assist. So they're there to help with maybe smaller discussions outside of class, but it's really going to be the professor within the class that's going to be delivering the material and is going to be your main resource throughout your time on campus. The other nice thing about the faculty here at SUNY Plattsburgh is 97% of them have the highest degree in their field, and we have over 20 distinguished SUNY professors on campus, as well as 2 National Teachers of the Year. So these professors aren't just experts at Plattsburgh, but they're experts within their field at large, and you have exclusive access to them as a student here. These professors also work with you outside of the classroom, which is really nice. So as a SUNY Plattsburgh student, you're assigned an advisor within your area of study who acts as your personal mentor all 4 years. So you have to meet with them at least once a semester, but you can meet with them as frequently as you'd like. And they're going to work with you to select the right classes, help you with internship placements, write letters of recommendation for you, and connect you with our over 50,000 alum when it comes time to head off into the working world and start your career. If you're undeclared, that's okay too. We have an entire academic advising office for undeclared students. In fact, a fun little Jeopardy fact for you, 30% of our incoming class comes in undeclared. So they come in not knowing what they want to do, and that's the largest percentage of students coming in that we have at Plattsburgh. So many students come in and aren't really sure between a couple different options, and that academic advising office will help you select classes that you have an interest in and also declare a major that are fitting your growing interests when that time is appropriate for you. Now, no matter what major you decide to select here at Plattsburgh, one thing you'll find across the board is our dedication to hands-on experiences. So one of the main things that's going to happen when you graduate college and you go for your first job is you're going to find that employers want you to have job experience. So how do you get job experience before your first job? And the way you do that is through hands-on experiences that come in a variety of forms, including internships, practicum experiences, clinical experiences, and research experiences. And those are either required or offered in all of our majors here at Plattsburgh. So I'll give you a couple of examples. If you're interested in social work, our social work students have to complete over 500 hours of hands-on field work prior to graduation. If you're interested in business, our business school has its own internship site coordinator just for business students, and we've formed affiliations with huge companies like IBM and KPMG and Walt Disney where our students can go and get hands-on experience, and most have 2 or 3 internships before they graduate. Our education students are getting upwards of 300 plus hours of experience in a classroom before they even student teach. So that's just a little example of how involved our students are within the field prior to graduation and all of the different opportunities available to you. Now, one of my favorite things about Plattsburgh is the fact that these opportunities are available not only in the Plattsburgh region, but also regionally and abroad. So because we're part of the SUNY system, we actually can send you to study or to do an internship at over 500 places in the entire world. So you can go to England, you could go to Australia, you could go to Switzerland, France. The opportunities are endless. We're also one of only 4 SUNY schools that offer something called National Student Exchange, and that allows you to study away in the United States for a semester. You could go to Hawaii, you could spend a semester in DC if you're thinking about starting a political career. Maybe you're interested in communications, you could spend a semester in LA or in New York City, again doing internship or classwork, and all of those credits would come right back to Plattsburgh. So there's a lot of really great ways to get immersed within your career field and really challenge yourself. Another way you can challenge yourself on our campus is being part of our honors program, which is one of the largest and oldest within SUNY. And so the honors program is a great way to get involved, kind of amp up your studies a little bit, and graduate with honors on your degree. Now, regardless of what major you choose or how much you're pushing or challenging yourself, one thing that you're going to find here is we're very supportive and we want students to succeed. So, and throughout every one of our majors, we have a lot of support mechanisms in place to help you. And so one of my favorite places on campus where students gain support is in our Learning Center, which is actually in the picture on your screen. The Learning Center offers free tutoring for over 200 different courses on campus. And it is peer-to-peer tutoring. So you're being tutored by someone who's taken the class before, been recommended by the professor, knows the material, and can work with you to make sure that you're on track. We also have a career development center on campus that will help you from your very first moment on campus craft a portfolio, write what might be your first cover letter, start building your resume. They put on dozens of workshops for you throughout the year, as well as job and internship fairs throughout the year. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to connect with people outside of campus and to be working with those individuals on campus to ensure that you're ready to take that next step after Plattsburgh. We also have the 3rd largest grant in the country for student support services, which goes to support first-generation students, as well as students who may have a learning or a physical challenge. And so if that does apply to you, please know that we do have a variety of services here to help you to make sure that you'll be successful as a college student. As I mentioned, support's available to you throughout all of our academic schools, and we do have 3. The largest is the School of Arts and Sciences. The second is Education, Health, and Human Services, and the last is the School of Business and Economics. So I'm going to start by talking first off about the School of Arts and Sciences. As you can see on the screen, there are a variety of majors within arts and sciences. There's quite a few here, so I'm going to give you some broad strokes about some of our most popular areas. So one area that's really popular for us is criminal justice. You may know this already, but if you don't, a fun fact about Plattsburgh is that we're only 20 minutes from the Canadian border. And so that affords us a lot of opportunities within criminal justice for our students to be involved with state and local police, Border Patrol, U.S. Customs, Homeland Security, and correctional facilities. And that program does a lot to prep you to go into law enforcement, law school, or graduate school. So that is a very strong top 10 program here at Plattsburgh. Another very popular area for us is psychology, which has routinely been in the top 3 majors here at Plattsburgh. And the great thing about our psychology program is it's a broad program. You're going to get exposed to every kind of psychology: neuro, bio, clinical, experimental, educational psychology, and it can really specialize with upper division coursework. We also offer 3 master's degrees in psychology on our campus. So our students are able to stay and work with the same professors at the undergrad level and at the grad level to get fully certified and enter the field. Another area that's very big for us is communications. So we actually have 9 different communications majors on our campus that range from digital media production to audio radio production to broadcast journalism, multimedia journalism, public relations. We were the first SUNY school to have a Center for Communications and Journalism, so very strong area for us. Another very large area for us is computer science and information technology. We also have a brand new degree program in computer security, so we're very much on the cutting edge of those fields. And last but not least in this area, I'll touch upon the sciences. STEM is very big for us here at Plattsburgh. We have 17 different science majors on our campus that range from biochemistry to cytotechnology, which really is looking at tissues and is used a lot in cancer research, and medical technology, ecology, environmental science, and the list goes on. We're lucky enough to have a brand new $37 million science building on our campus with $3 million in new equipment, everything from our own molecular sort of MRI machine called an MNR machine to our own DNA sequencer. So a lot of really great stuff within that area for you to get hands-on with. The next school is the School of Education, Health, and Human Services, and we sort of dubbed this our pre-professional school because a lot of the degrees in this school are really prepping you to go into a particular area of study. As I mentioned before, education was how we were founded. That was our original major here at Plattsburgh, and it's still very popular for us today. So you'll see right at the top, the first 4 degree programs, there are all education degrees, and one of the distinguishing factors about SUNY Plattsburgh is that we have combined degree programs for many of our education areas. So you're able to earn a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in education in just 5 years. So that's essentially cutting off an entire year of time and money for you. You also get admitted to the master's program as a freshman, and so that saves you from having to retake any standardized testing or do a separate application to get into graduate school, which is really beneficial for students. We do have this combined degree program available for students interested in childhood education, as well as those students interested in adolescence education. So we do cover birth through grade 12 for students. Another area that's very popular for us is communication disorders and sciences. So if you're interested in getting into speech pathology or audiology, this would be the degree program for you. We also have a master's degree in speech pathology here at Plattsburgh with a 100% job placement rate, so it is a very lucrative career path. And we have our own on-campus speech and hearing clinic. So we actually service the local community, about 40 to 50 clients a semester. And as a student, you not only get to observe, but as a senior, you can even take on your own clientele as an undergraduate, which is a very cool feature that Plattsburgh has. We are also one of the few schools to have nutrition, nursing, and social work as majors. Nursing is by far our most competitive major on campus. We have lots of students that are interested in that degree program. And with nursing, as well as all of the majors within this area, we do encourage you to apply early. So definitely you want to get your information in by December 1st, if not earlier, to give yourself the best chance of admission. With nursing in particular, a fun fact about Plattsburgh is we are right next to the largest hospital north of Albany. So our nurses have a really wonderful opportunity to walk right next door to do their clinical rotations, and they don't need vehicles to do so. And they often spend more time than required in the hospital because we are so close, which is really, really nice. Our nurses also have a 96% first-time pass rate on the NCLEX exam, so they do fantastic on the test that really certifies them to become nurses, and they have a 100% job placement rate. Nutrition is also a very big area for us. About 5 years ago, we renovated all of our nutrition labs, and our program is preparatory for you to go on and work in the nutrition field or go on for the one-year internship that you need to become a registered dietitian. Our social work program, likewise, is also a fully accredited program, and that would allow you, after doing the 4-year degree, to go on for a 1-year MSW as opposed to a 2-year. So that also cuts off some time and money for you, which is a really unique feature. Last but not least is the School of Business and Economics. As you can see on this screen, there's a little kind of stamp of approval right next to the school's name, and that accreditation is AACSB, and that is the Association to Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business. A lot of words there, but what does it mean? Really, it's the highest gold standard that a business school can achieve. And there's only 650 schools in the entire world that have this accreditation, and we're one of them. So you know, by coming to Plattsburgh, you are getting the highest level of education possible. Within this school, we actually have 11 different degree programs that you can choose from, and these are not concentrations. These are full-fledged degree programs. So you're able to really kind of customize and pick something that you're really interested in. And these degrees range from more broad in nature, such as business administration or accounting, to really specific areas such as global supply chain management or entrepreneurship. We're actually the only 4-year SUNY school with an entrepreneurship degree. Now, this accreditation, this serves a lot of purposes, but one of the nice things within it is that you're required, regardless of what business major you choose, to have a core set of business courses under your belt. So that does a couple of things. One, it allows you to explore different business areas without wasting any time. And two, it allows you to easily double or even triple or quadruple major in a business area before you graduate, and you can do so in 4 years, which is really, really nice. So you don't have to take extra time if you find that there are multiple things that you're interested in within this particular school. So a lot of really great features here, in addition to the internship site coordinator that I mentioned a little bit earlier, helping to facilitate a lot of those relationships with businesses and organizations after graduation. Now, I mentioned a couple facilities throughout the last couple of slides, but this slide kind of summarizes some of the different areas I talked about and also includes a couple additional areas. So I just want to talk a little bit about what we have on campus to help with your degree program. So one of my favorite areas on campus is the Nursing Skills Lab. So I mentioned the hospital, but we actually have 3 nursing skills labs on our campus, fully equipped just like a hospital with patients in the beds, the whole 9 yards. We even have 2 simulation people on campus that can do anything humans can do. They can breathe, they can go into cardiac arrest, they can bleed, they can even give birth. So if you're interested in nursing, you're going to get a very realistic hands-on experience before you head into the hospital. Very similarly, with a hands-on, very real-time experience and with our communication students, lots of really practical experiences on campus for students. So we have our own television studio that broadcasts to over 40,000 people. We have 8 student-run television shows a semester that you can be a part of. We also have 2 radio stations that we operate on campus, as well as an award-winning newspaper and an award-winning magazine. Our magazine, Due North, is actually the official in-flight magazine for Penair Airlines. So if you fly Penair Airlines, it's our student-produced and created magazine that you pull out of the seat in front of you. So that's kind of a really nice feather in our cap and a very interesting experience for you as a student to help build your portfolio. So definitely a positive. Another thing that I didn't mention before, but is a really unique factor about Plattsburgh, is the fact that we're known as a museum without walls here. So if you're interested in art, you're going to find over 5,000 pieces of artwork on our campus, and they are peppered throughout the campus. So you're going to find them in the admissions office, in courtyards, in classrooms, all over the place for you to enjoy, as well as within 3 formal museums on our campus, one of which you can see on your screen in the bottom left-hand corner. That's the Nina Winkle Sculpture Court, and it's actually the largest space dedicated to the artwork of one woman in the entire state. So a very interesting, again, kind of unique facility here at Plattsburgh. And the last thing I'll mention is our brand new $12 million Business and Computer Science building. You'll see that rendering in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And so that opened about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So brand new PC and Mac labs, conference spaces, networking spaces for students, as well as a rooftop garden that overlooks Plattsburgh. So a very fun place to hang out in between classes. Now, I've mentioned a couple internship opportunities to you throughout the presentation, but one thing I really want to drive home is our dedication to making sure that you have hands-on experiences here, and you'll see a couple of them listed on the screen for you. But again, these opportunities are available to you no matter what degree program you choose or no matter what you're interested in, and our Career Development Office as well as our academic advisors are really working hard to ensure that you're getting placed correctly and that it gives you a leg up and a competitive advantage when you graduate. So now that we've kind of gone through academics, before we jump into the second part of the presentation, I really want to give the students a chance to talk about their experiences in terms of academics. I know you guys probably have a lot of student life questions, and we're going to get to those shortly, but we're going to focus on academics just for this next little period of time. So if you want to think of some questions, feel free to write them in. I'm checking the screen, so we'll definitely pose them. But while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and ask a question to get the ball rolling. So we talked a lot about hands-on experiences at Plattsburgh. What types of hands-on experiences have you guys had within your major, either going to conferences or, you know, doing an internship or something like that that you've had within your degree program?
Sure. So I haven't been able to do an internship yet, so everything I've done has just been what's been offered to me just on campus. But my freshman year, we had a 72 hours to come up with a business idea and have a full-fledged, working product by the end of that weekend. So I think Plattsburgh entered 3 teams into that competition, and we took home first, second, and third in that. Just this past semester, my international marketing course, we were working with another class in Egypt to actually come up with an advertising campaign that was going to be used in France. So doing that project, we got a lot of experience in, the culture that they have over in Egypt, as well as the culture in France, just because that's where the finished product was going. So just in the past 3 years that I've been here, I've been able to get a lot of experience without even having to leave the campus.
And so for education, we run an after-school program called Project Connect that we go to once a week, so that's definitely something that's taught me a lot, and just the experience from working with kids. We've been doing that since freshman year, and you do that for 2 years, actually 3 actually. And then we've also, since freshman year, we've been going into the local schools around here, so they believe in like a lot of hands-on experience, and they believe that you learn the most from doing. That's what my professors always say in the education program. So I've definitely gotten a lot of hands-on experiences, and I'm only a junior. And I'm in a club called Council for Exceptional Children, and the SA was able to provide us the money to go to the New York State Council for Exceptional Children conference, and we're going again this year. And that's something that we can't gain in the classroom, but we were still able to get those experiences outside through the help of Plattsburgh Student Association.
Awesome. So we also talked a lot about professors, and I'm curious, who is your favorite professor on campus and why? Tough question.
Probably I would have to say my advisor, Dr. Gottschall, and the only reason I say that is just because I've spent the most time with him, so I'm more biased to say that. At this point, I've taken 3 classes with him, and before I even took my first class with him last year, he was my advisor for the past 2 years before that. So I definitely, we've gone out to Tim Hortons and gotten coffee together. We've done a lot of stuff that I don't do with the rest of my professors, just by virtue of the fact that he's my advisor as well. So I think he gets the winner on that one.
Yeah.
This is always the hardest question for me because I have formed such strong relationships with all of my professors. But I have to say my advisor too, just because she is the person that I've spent the most time with, and she was also the first professor I had on campus. So she's kind of just always been there. But I really do love all my professors, so I hope they're not listening.
I do see that we have a question about nursing admission. We're actually going to talk a little bit about admission standards and just a little bit in the presentation. So I thought we're definitely going to address it. Definitely a big question. Thank you for asking. So we will talk about that in just a few. We do have another question that came in asking about your favorite class. So could you guys maybe talk about a favorite class that you've had and what you learned in it, or maybe a really unique class that you've taken at Plattsburgh that you maybe didn't expect to take? A little insight into college classes and what you've enjoyed so far.
My favorite class was one of my education classes, actually. It was called Diversity and Social Justice. And it was just about, like, opening your mind to, like, hidden biases you have. It's just, like, a new way of thinking because it's something you just never thought of, like, in high school and throughout your whole life. So I think that was, like, the point in college where, like, oh, wait, I think that's what college is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about changing, like, who you are and, like, how you think. So I think that was my favorite class by far.
My favorite class was probably my management strategies, and just because that class challenged pretty much everything I've ever learned. So whereas, you know, the class pretty much put us in the shoes of a CEO, so we had to make decisions of whether we're going to keep a product, you know, keep an employee, pretty much any kind of decision that you would have to make in running a business. We were tasked in doing that, and then every decision we made was then challenged by 6 other people in the class, so you really had to get up and defend your position. But that was also one of the classes that, you know, we didn't have a textbook for. It was all class discussions, so that was definitely a big help, and it really gets you immersed in the class rather than immersed in a book.
Awesome. So another question for you guys, and then we'll move on to student life. So if you guys have student life questions, those are going to be coming up shortly, and we'll be able to address them in a bit. But for most of you joining us today, college is something you haven't experienced yet. Some of you may be transfer students and have a taste of that, but for those of you who are still in high school, making the jump from high school to college in terms of coursework can be a little scary, and what's it going to be like? So could you guys talk a little bit about your academic transition from high school to college? What was that like, and do you have any advice for the students watching today?
Sure. So my first semester, I didn't know what I was doing at first, and my grades reflect that. But once you figure out time management, everything kind of falls into place after that. Once you know that you have to spend 3 hours of homework and not a half hour, then you kind of can plan your day around that. But pretty much once you figure out a schedule that works for you, once you figure out how you're going to keep yourself organized, everything after that just kind of falls into place. So it's just organization, time management.
I would say the exact same thing, but also like learning that the Learning Center isn't just if you're struggling, like if you just really want to do well, like that Learning Center like is the best place you can go because your professors are there to help always. You can go their office hours, but having another student there who's taken that class and can get you through, like, can do so much.
Even just sitting there doing your homework and not, you know, studying actively, you know, just being in that environment helps a lot.
Awesome. Good advice. Thanks, guys. So in my opinion, and I'm sure these guys would agree, one of the things that's just as important as academics is student life, because if you guys aren't happy where you are socially, you're not going to do well academically. So student life is a really big part of college. And at Plattsburgh, you're going to find there is a wide array of ways for you to get involved, things for you to do, and ways to really find yourself and fit in. So one way that you're really going to embrace student life here at SUNY Plattsburgh in a different way is by the types of people you're going to encounter. So SUNY Plattsburgh actually has the second largest international student population out of any of the SUNY colleges. So we have over 60 countries represented on campus at any given point in time, as well as almost 25 states represented on campus. So it's not uncommon to be in a classroom, and I experienced this as a Plattsburgh student, being in a classroom with somebody from Long Island Albany, Plattsburgh, Ghana, and, you know, in Vermont. That happens all of the time. You're going to have people from all over the world joining you in your class, and not only is that really an awesome opportunity to make a friend from a totally different area, but it also expands your viewpoint in the classroom when you can hear perspectives from other people that might be different from your own by virtue of where they grew up or their cultural beliefs or experiences. Another thing that's really comforting for students is the fact that we are very transfer friendly. So you'll see from the numbers on the screen, we enroll almost as many transfer students every year as we do freshmen. So if you're in the audience today and you're thinking, you know, I might start out at a local community college and transfer, or, you know, what if I end up not going to Plattsburgh and then I realize, man, I really don't like where I'm at and I want to transfer. The option to do so is absolutely there, and you're not alone. And transferring to Plattsburgh is a very seamless and welcoming process. And a majority of credits do come over seamlessly to Plattsburgh, especially between SUNY school to SUNY school. So that's something you're thinking about doing, or if you're currently a transfer student, you can kind of rest assured that you're going to be amongst a lot of other students making the same transition and who have done so very seamlessly. Now, one thing about Plattsburgh that is very unique really to us is where we're located. So if you've never been to Plattsburgh before, we're actually in this very neat little corner of the world where you can be in a different state or a different country in 20 minutes, and there's not a lot of places where you can do that. So we are essentially an hour away from 3 major hotspots. We're an hour away from Montreal, Quebec, which is a city of nearly 3 million people, and it's the second largest French-speaking city in the world. We're also only an hour away from Burlington, which is the largest city in Vermont, and we're an hour away from Lake Placid, which is a 2-time Olympic village. So if you're looking to go to a concert, to go outlet shopping, to experience Church Street in Burlington, check out a comedian, do anything like that, you are literally a stone's throw from all of those opportunities. And the college often sponsors trips to those different areas for you to hang out. We're also right on the outskirts of the Adirondack Mountains. We are located right on Lake Champlain, and the Saranac River actually runs directly through campus. So if you love the outdoors, or maybe you've never had the opportunity to experience the outdoors, but the idea of hiking, kayaking, biking, sea kayaking, tubing, any of that is of interest to you, you can absolutely do it here, and it's really something that we open up for our students that you can enjoy. One of my favorite things about Plattsburgh in terms of student life is the fact that you don't have to leave campus or leave Plattsburgh to find something to do. So Plattsburgh itself is a small city of about 30 to 35,000 people, and we are sort of situated, the campus is situated smack dab in the middle of Plattsburgh. So uptown Plattsburgh and downtown Plattsburgh sandwich the campus. And that means that uptown Plattsburgh is 5 minutes away, and that's where you're going to find all of the commercial stuff. So we do have a mall with Hollister and American Eagle and Target. We have Buffalo Wild Wings. We have Chipotle. We've got all the big stuff there for you, TJ Maxx, Home Goods. You're definitely going to be able to go out with your friends, eat, shop, hang out. That feeds directly into our campus, and our campus is not a gated campus. So we are not secluded up on a hill somewhere. We're very much a part of the community, and so that allows us to be literally a 10-minute walk from downtown Plattsburgh. And so as a student on our campus, you're never going to drive downtown. Everybody walks downtown. There's sidewalks that lead you right to downtown from the campus, and that's where a lot of the college students hang out. There's awesome Greek food, Italian food, Mexican food. Our nightlife is downtown. There's river walks, there's festivals, there's farmers markets, live music all of the time, whether it's acoustic music or a rock band. So you have a lot of opportunities to go downtown, hang out, really explore the local community. We also have a free student shuttle that will bring you anywhere that you'd like to go in town. So if you're interested in exploring these options but you don't have a vehicle, don't fret. You'll have a friend with a vehicle, and that shuttle, again, will bring you anywhere you'd like to go. And I know this question is going to come up, so I'm going to address it now. As a freshman, you can have a vehicle. It's always a family conversation, so you have to talk to your parents about that. But you can have a vehicle on our campus as a freshman, so you're welcome to bring it if you choose. Now, one of the very first places we're going to start to feel a sense of the Plattsburgh community is within our residence halls. We have 12 residence halls altogether on our campus. 2 are dedicated solely to freshmen, 2 are dedicated solely to upperclassmen, and the rest are kind of a mixture of freshmen through senior. If you are a freshman, we do pair you with another freshman student, and if you're a transfer student, we do try to pair you with another transfer student because you guys can relate to each other and will have a lot in common. We do have several different types of housing options here at Plattsburgh. So in the picture, you're going to see a high-rise building, but we also have a low-rise building that has usually 3 floors as a part of it. And we have 2 different types of housing options. So we have traditional corridor-style housing, so that would be 2 people to a room, and with communal bathrooms that you share. We also have suite-style housing here on campus. So that basically allows you to live in a 6 or 8 person suite. So in each room, it's you and a roommate, but you have your own common room and then your own very large bathroom to share just for your little suite. So that's really terrific. As a sophomore, junior, or senior, when you've got your group of friends and you want to live together, that you have that space to do so. As a student, you are required to live on campus your first 2 years. You do have the option of moving off campus after that if you so choose, but many of our students do choose to live on campus all 4 years, or when they do move off, they move literally right across the street, and so it really does feel like one big community your entire 4 years on campus. Since our students are here, I'd love to hear their take on housing. So where did you live your first year on campus? What was the experience like? How was it living with a roommate?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll go. I lived in Whiteface my freshman year, and I actually ended up rooming with a girl that lived 10 minutes from my house at home. But we never knew each other, so we had like a lot in common right off the bat. But that's also very common because a lot of people that go to Plattsburgh are from New York, so it's really easy to like make connections with people. A lot of people are from where you're from. So I had a great experience with that. I still live with her today, and I'm a junior. Awesome.
So my freshman year, I ended up living in Whiteface, and kind of a similar situation. I didn't live near my roommate at all. He's from Albany. I'm from Long Island. But now 4 years later, I'm still living with the kid. So I guess you can put up with me for a little bit. But I ended up living in Whiteface, which was the freshman building. Then we moved into Hood, which is a suite-style building. And now we live off campus. But it's literally right across the street. So
this is a question we get a lot, so I'm just going to ask you guys now before we move on. How do you select a roommate at Plattsburgh? How does that work out? So what did you guys do to select a roommate, or how did you get paired with a roommate?
So I know like my class created like a Facebook group, and then everyone kind of over the summer before we came here, we were all like chatting on Facebook. So a lot of people actually met that way. The other way is, meeting at orientation. And then the housing department also does a great job of pairing people up. So they have a long survey, what time do you go to bed, how do you study, just kind of general questions as to your living habits, and then they'll pair you up with someone who they think will be compatible.
Thanks, guys. So student activities is a really big part of something you're probably doing right now in school, and it's a very big part of the Plattsburgh community here too. This is my favorite slide to talk about in the entire presentation because to me, it's what makes Plattsburgh completely different from every other school that you could look at. And the reason is because our student government, which is again student government, so completely student run, is given a budget of over $1 million a year to spend just on social activities. And so that goes to fund over 95 different clubs and organizations, but it also funds a variety of events throughout the semester. Everything from our spring Slack Fest to spring carnival to an open mic night every Wednesday on campus. We have fashion shows that we put on. We bring comedians and bands to campus. We do a lot of really cool stuff. And club-wise, the clubs are always changing and are very varied. So we've got everything from 30-plus academic clubs to 20-plus fraternity and sorority organizations, to groups like the food group, and they run a garden on campus, to the hula hoop club. So anything that you could dream of is going to be here for you. And if there's something you do now that we don't have a club for, you can create one. It's very easy, and that's what that money is there for. So you're going to walk into a really active environment at Plattsburgh that you can jump right in. We actually do a student activities fair at the beginning of every semester. So right off the bat, during your first week on campus, you can walk around and learn more about different clubs and organizations and join. But you're going to walk right into this very full environment of opportunities, but you can also create your own within your 4 years here. So I think that that's super exciting. Another thing that's really exciting about Plattsburgh is Cardinal sports. So we actually have 20-plus club and intramural sports on campus, which allow you to play, kind of form teams and play either within the campus itself or play competitively against other schools. But the teams listed right here on your screen are actually our 17 Division III men's and women's sports. So Division III does have a little bit more of a competitiveness edge, a little bit more of a time commitment as well. And you'll see that we have a variety of options here. From the picture and just from our general proximity to Canada, you might guess that hockey is a pretty big deal on our campus, and you would be right. Our women's hockey team is actually currently three-peat, so back-to-back-to-back national champions. They won all 3 national championships right here on our campus. So those games are crazy. They're really fun to go to. The men have actually won nationals twice, which is very cool, and we're regularly in the finals, if not champions, of SUNYAC and other big conferences that we're a part of for the variety of other sports that we do offer. Now, while you can't earn a scholarship for Division III sports, we do recruit. So if you're interested in playing a Division III sport, if that's a really important part of your academic journey, you can go right on our website and email the coach directly and fill out a recruitment form if you're interested, and that will kind of help start the process for you. If you're not necessarily interested in playing a Division III sport, one thing you can count on is still having a lot of Cardinal pride here on our campus. So we're really big into going to sporting events and supporting our teams. We even have a club called the Red Zone on campus, and their only purpose is to get painted up in red, black, and white and like cheer on all of the crowds of the games, get everybody really amped up. And they're not just at hockey, they're at basketball, I'm sure they're at women's tennis, they're at everything, and they're really getting people excited. And that club is at least 50 students strong. So that's always an option for you too if you want to kind of be involved within that spirit. So now that we've talked a little bit about student life, before we dive into admissions criteria, next steps, dates for you to be aware of, now is your opportunity to ask any student life questions that you have. So while you kind of think of some student life questions, then feel free to write them in. We're watching the screen, so we'll go ahead and answer those for you. I'm gonna kick it off with one thing we didn't talk about in the presentation that I know is a very big factor, it would be for me, and that's food. So how is the food on campus? What food options are there? What do you like to eat on campus? How is it accommodated for you?
So there's more food than we ever needed here. I think there's something like 20 different restaurants available on campus. That's everything from Starbucks to Tim Hortons to Einstein's to, we have like a convenience store. There's 3 different dining halls that we have. So there's plenty of food, and pretty much every academic building has some kind of food restaurant to go to.
We have this place called Samuel D's, and it serves like Starbucks stuff, but it's also student run, and I love that place. I go there all the time.
What do they serve at Samuel D's?
Like they serve sandwiches, coffees, soups, like a nice little.
How is the food in terms of like taste? Is it good? That's always a big question.
It is good. I was like expecting when I came to college for like the food to be really bad. That's what you hear. That's like terrible, but it really isn't. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I live off campus, and more often than not, I find myself coming back to campus to eat.
It's nice to not have to cook for yourself. I'll tell you that. That's definitely a plus. What about if you have any dietary restrictions or dietary preferences? Is it easy to eat if maybe you're gluten-free or you're vegetarian or something like that? Is it easy to find things on campus?
So all the different venues have, their specific menu, but then they also, I think it's new this semester, they all have some kind of healthy option on their menu, and then I'm sure the majority of them have some kind of gluten-free or vegan-free or all those different dietary concerns.
And I'm a vegetarian, and I've never like had a problem, but I know they also have at Clinton, you can like, if you have like a specific dietary need, they have like, you can like pre-order things so that they're ready for when you're going to eat there.
Yeah. We also have our own registered dietitian on campus, and so I'm actually a vegan. I know you're a vegetarian. So if you do have a dietary preference or dietary issue, the dining hall labels everything, but you can actually meet with a registered dietitian and get a meal plan all set for you if that's something that you'd like to do. So another question, we talked about student activities. What types of student activities are you guys involved in, and how easy is it to get involved on campus?
So my freshman year, it was more difficult for me to not get involved than it was to get involved. I know a lot of the different clubs came through like the freshman residence halls to kind of come recruit new members. So right now I'm involved with the Red Zone Club, like she talked about. I'm involved with our Entrepreneurship Club and the AMA Marketing Society.
I'm the president of Council for Exceptional Children, and I'm also in the Honor Society for Education, and I just love it. Like, I think that that's like one of the most important things is getting involved in clubs, because that's where I met like all my best friends. It's always people that like have those same interests as you when you join those clubs. It's really nice.
Awesome. Great. We are taking questions, guys, so if you have any questions about student life, now is the time to ask, so feel free to write in to us. I'll pose another question. I talked about the region and the local area. So what do you guys do on the weekend? What is there to do in Plattsburgh and in the community? Have you taken any cool trips? Where are your favorite places to hang out outside of campus?
So just last week, it was, I think it was Saturday morning, me and my friends were like, we have nothing to do today. So we just piled into our car and we headed up to Montreal for the day. So it was probably took about an hour to get there, and then once we were there, we went downtown Montreal. So there's tons of stuff to do there. There was street performers, street food, and everything like that. So it was definitely something fun to have. There's also, you know, Burlington's right over there. So next week, me and my friends are going to a concert in Burlington. So we're all looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, it's really nice because it doesn't have to be like a planned trip. Like me and my friends, like on the weekends, sometimes we'll be like, oh, let's go to like Classic. It's so close, so nice. It's just like nice to go and walk around there. So we love it.
Okay, so we have a question. So do students come to Plattsburgh with friends, or do you kind of come by yourselves and just meet new people when you're here? What were your experiences with that? Did you know people from your hometown or high school coming to Plattsburgh, or they still close friends with you now, or did you really kind of meet new people?
There were actually, I had a pretty big high school, so there still are a few from my high school, but I've met like all new friends. It's very easy in college, especially coming in as a freshman, because everyone's in the same boat. It's very easy to make new friends, and so I don't know.
So coming from high school, one of my friends in high school, she was actually coming here with me, and I thought, you know, we were going to be like super close out all college, but then, you know, first semester here, we both kind of found different things that we were involved with, so we kind of grew apart like that. So the friends who I thought I was coming here with, you know, I still talk to them, but they're not my best friends that I have now. So it was very easy for me to come make new friends, because when you come here, everyone's trying to do the same thing. So it was very welcoming and accommodating like that.
Great. Thanks, guys. So we're going to dive a little bit into some helpful hints for you, as well as some admissions criteria and next steps to pay attention to, and then we're going to round it out with one last question for our students. So some helpful hints for you guys moving forward. If you're still in high school, a junior, senior year, make sure to keep challenging yourself with a rigorous course load. So for many of our programs, we're looking for students to have gone above and beyond the minimum for both math and for science. That does look very good for admission, and like I said, for some of our programs, such as, you know, business or maybe sciences, they might require a higher level of math or science being completed. So the more you can challenge yourself, the better position you'll be in for admission, and the more prepared you're going to be to take on college coursework when you do come to college. I think you guys said it perfectly. Staying organized, time management. You're going to have a lot of things coming at you, both in the mail and through email and different events, and trying to figure out what college is right for you and where you need to go. Keep organized. Keep a folder of everything. Be aware of timelines and dates. Put them in your planner. Make sure you're up on that, so you're putting yourself in the very best light. Also check your email frequently. We send lots of email at Plattsburgh, and that does not stop as a student. I think email is kind of a way of life for students. So check your email. We have a lot of good info in there about events coming up, about things that might be missing from your application, things like that. So it's very important for you to be checking your email to make sure you're up on everything you need. If you're sending anything to a college, Plattsburgh or otherwise, a really important thing to do is make sure you include your first and last name as well as your date of birth on all of your documents. Seems like a no-brainer, but I promise you there's a lot of people with your exact name that's probably sending things to us. So for us to be able to distinguish you and make sure that we're getting everything from you, it's really nice to have first, last name, and date of birth on everything that you're sending. And lastly, ask if you need help. Ask your counselor, ask your parents, ask your guardian, ask admissions. We're here for you, and we're happy to answer any questions that you have. So don't be afraid to reach out if you do need help in getting things completed as you go through your college search process. Now, one of the things that I know is on everybody's mind, and we did have some questions regarding this, is requirements and scholarships. So on the screen, you're going to see our middle 50% for a majority of our majors. So essentially, 50% of the students coming into Plattsburgh are falling within these numbers in terms of academic achievement. So we're really looking for students who are applying to Plattsburgh to have a solid B average, and most of our students coming in are between an 85 and a 91 high school average. We're also looking for students who have done well on the SAT. So most of you have probably taken the new SAT, so that would be an SAT after the March date. For the new SAT, we're looking for students to have a two-part score of 1070 to 1190, and on the old SAT, that would be a 990 to an 1120. We don't require both, we just require one standardized test, whether that's an old or a new SAT or an ACT, any of those will work just fine for us. For ACT, typically our students have between a 21 and a 25 ACT composite score. If you are looking to transfer to SUNY Plattsburgh, you're going to find for most of our programs, if you have around a 2.5 or higher, you're going to look like a very strong candidate. And the middle 50% of students coming in, transferring in, have between a 2.6 and a 3.4 GPA, so that will kind of give you an idea. For nursing, the statistics are a little bit different, so you're going to want to find yourself on the upper end of these ranges and above to really be a strong candidate for our nursing program. The same is true for our adolescent education program. Students must have at least an 85 GPA to be considered for that program, as well as at least a 1050 on the old SAT or around an 1120, 1130 on the new SAT and above. So just keep those statistics in mind if you are interested in those particular programs. Students that are falling on the upper ends of these ranges are going to find that they start to qualify for scholarships. We are very scholarship friendly here at Plattsburgh. We offer over $4 million in scholarships to students every single year. About 43% of our freshmen are awarded scholarships as incoming students. So if you're interested in finding out exactly what you're eligible for, you can do so by checking out our scholarship calculator, which is right online. You go to plattsburgh.edu/scholarships, and you can type in all of your grades, and we'll give you a good idea of where you stand in terms of merit-based money from Plattsburgh. And every cent that's listed on that scholarship calculator is money that we would award you without having to do anything additional except for applying to Plattsburgh. So it's essentially free money, no additional application. It's just our little tip of the hat to you for doing well in school and something additional we want to add to your financial aid package if you do decide to come to Plattsburgh. Another thing to really be aware of and put down in your planner and be thinking about are dates and deadlines. So there's a lot of dates and deadlines on here. A majority of you are probably looking to enroll at SUNY Plattsburgh for the fall 2017. Sounds far away, but it'll creep up faster than you know. So if you are a freshman and you're looking to enroll at Plattsburgh for next fall, you're going to be looking to try to get your application and your materials in by December 1st. We are on rolling admissions, so what that means is December 1st is not a hard and fast deadline. We will take admissions applications after that date, but to put yourself in kind of a prime admissions window and to ensure you're one of the very first people that hears a decision from us, having your materials in by December 1st is preferable. If you're interested in nursing, I would suggest for best consideration that you try to get your materials in by November at the latest, early to mid-November at the latest. That will put you in a prime admissions window for that particular program. For transfer students, if you're looking to transfer in for the spring, we suggest having your materials in by November 1st. And if you're looking to transfer in for the fall, March 1st would be the deadline that we're looking for. Now, one of the big changes this year is with the FAFSA. The FAFSA is actually available for students to fill out right now. And the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. So that first word in there, free, is really important. It's basically an application that doesn't cost you anything that you can fill out and get funding from the government. And essentially, there's a big pool of money out there that the government has to help students get funded for college. So the sooner you put in your application, the more likely you are to get a slice of that pie. So applications are available now. We tell students that you're really aiming to have that completed and submitted by December 15th to make sure that you're, again, putting yourself in the best light for packaging, financial packaging. And we do typically send out what your financial aid package would be for SUNY Plattsburgh in February. So if you can keep on those deadlines, then you can expect to hear something from us admissions-wise in December or January, followed by your scholarship information and then your financial aid package. Now, the national deposit deadline for schools in the country is May 1st. And that's no different for us. And so one of the nice things is if you are accepted at Plattsburgh, you do have until May 1st to commit to Plattsburgh and hold your spot in the incoming class. Just like with everything else, the sooner the better. So the sooner you decide to come to Plattsburgh and pay your deposit and secure your spot, then the first, you're going to be one of the first people who can fill out a housing form and get your first housing preferences taken care of, get all the information you need to matriculate. So there are a lot of benefits of making that decision as early as possible, but you do have until May 1st. So you can kind of write that down on your calendar as well as a date to pay attention to. Since you guys can't be on campus with us today, we do want you to stay connected to everything that we're doing, and we're doing a lot of stuff all of the time. We are on just about every social media channel you can think of, and there are a couple hashtags that we would recommend you check out. The first would be MyPlattsVisit, and you'll see these hashtags in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. MyPlattsVisit is a hashtag our students use when they come to campus to visit. So if you do come to campus to check out what we've got going on here, definitely tweet a picture of your favorite item on campus, or your favorite piece of artwork or your favorite building. And if you do that, we'll actually send you some SUNY Plattsburgh swag in the mail to check out. So good to keep in mind if you visit, but before you visit, you can actually check out that hashtag and see what other prospective students have really liked about our campus. The other hashtag I would recommend you checking out is PlattsLife. PlattsLife is kind of a way of life here at Plattsburgh. All the students, even people in the community, different organizations in the area, use PlattsLife to put on Twitter or Instagram anything going on with their life. So if you want to see what the leaves and the lattes are like on campus, or what the latest event going on is on campus, checking out PlattsLife hashtag is going to give you an insider's view to all of that information. So definitely follow our different channels and check out those hashtags. Another thing we'd really like you to do is visit campus. We're so glad you guys joined us today, but you really can't get a feel for Plattsburgh until you're physically here. So there are a lot of really great opportunities for you to check out campus. The best opportunity for you is going to be to attend one of our open house events. And so you can see on the screen, we have an open house on October 29th and then one on November 12th. And that's going to give you access not only to the admissions office and to more students who can share their experiences, but we also have breakout sessions for different academic areas. So you can actually sit in a biology breakout session or a nursing breakout session or a business breakout session and hear from faculty and students and have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with them after the breakout session. Of course, we offer campus tours as well as residence hall tours at that time. So it's a great opportunity to really see everything that the campus has to offer in just a couple of hours in one day. So I highly recommend doing that. If that doesn't work out for you, we do have visit opportunities on campus every single day of the week, as well as select Saturdays and holiday events. So at the conclusion of this WebEx, we're going to direct you right to our visit page where you can register for an event if you're interested and see all of the offerings that we have, so you can make the trek up to campus if what you heard today really is sparking your interest. Now, of course, we hope that you were able to really get a sense of what Plattsburgh's all about here, and you can see yourself joining our campus community and making Plattsburgh your home away from home and imagining what you can accomplish here. But to round out our time together, I'd like to ask the students just one last question. Put yourself back in the high school students or transfer student shoes back when you were trying to decide on a college. Where did you apply, and why did you choose SUNY Plattsburgh?
So I applied pretty much everywhere. We had the SUNY app and the Common App, so I sent it to every school ever. But the reason I ended up choosing Plattsburgh, it was pretty easy for me once I came to campus. So I looked at a couple schools and just didn't really like what I was seeing. And then I came to Plattsburgh, really enjoyed it here. And I think once I saw it, I made my decision kind of that day.
Awesome. Yeah, it was the same for me. Like, I really liked the 5-year program that they offered because it was obviously saving me a year, and I was going to leave with my master's. But then the minute I stepped on campus, I was like, I like this campus. So, and I also really like that when you pull off the exit, like, you're not in like a broken down like college town. It's like very live, and like there's communities here, and I like that.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thank you guys for spending some time with us. I know there are some additional questions here on the screen, so I'm going to try to answer those for you, not on camera, but I'm going to type some answers to you if that's okay. But in terms of the visual part of things, I think we're going to say goodbye today. So thank you guys so very much. If you do have questions, feel free to hang out, and we'll answer those shortly. And we hope to see you guys on campus soon. So thank you. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.